Breaking news! Kabam respond to Winter of Woe Quest 1 complaints. Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to our late night video. Well, to be honest, a lot of the videos I've seen you making now seem to be late night. But we've just had this in. This is just literally come in. So the time for me is just 8 minutes past 11 PM UK time. And this has just come in as of that. So this comes from Kabam Mike. And let's kind of get us a bit larger so we can actually read all about it. We have an update on the first fight for Winter of Woe. Before we talk about the update, we need to justify why we are doing what we did and stuff. No, I will read on. But you know when it kind of like starts to like, I don't wish to be rude, but it's one of those kind of situations. Before we talk about the update, we need to reiterate that this is meant to be endgame content. So shut your yaps. And that it should not be something that is easy to do. And that has some investment of time. No, not allowed to do that. Not allowed to say investment of time, according to something I read earlier from a member of Kabam. And items and energy to be expected. And having a deep roster is going to be an advantage. And having a shallow roster may be a pretty big hindrance. This is intentional. Everybody, rise up to become Paragons. We need you all to be Paragons, but you don't have the roster depth yet. So that's a you problem. That said, we do recognise that the difficulty in this fight, and especially in one of the objectives, and the AI is really bad, and we apologise for that. That's not there. Is more than our players are comfortable with. While there are some other aspects of the fight that players might find too difficult, like the fact we haven't done the AI very well, we want to focus on two major issues. The hashtag robot objective has a very small pool of champions that can deal with the fight. Same thing with a lot of it. And none that really thrive in a fight. Additionally, absorbing man's regeneration can be pretty daunting, erasing progress that is made from one fight to the next. We aren't able to change this fight directly without causing issues, so here's our plan. To give players the option of skipping the hashtag robot objective, we'll be granting every player who completes this quest an extra point. Summoners who complete the hashtag robot objective will still receive an extra point, and as such will either make additional progress towards some of the higher milestones or be able to skip an objective down the line. That actually could be really handy. If you have a roster kind of deficit, say for whatever reason the fight is doable and you've done it all or whatever, that is banking an objective, skip. And if one is like your roster does not kind of go very deep, that could be really important. That could be really helpful. And it could save you a bit more. I'll give you an example. Like say again, for example, that I don't have any strong enough robot-based champions. I've got a Guillotine 199, I've got a Mega Sentinel, but ignore that. But if, say, for whatever reason, the only hashtag robot I had was something like Ultron, but didn't have any of the others, and I had to do the hashtag robot objective, then, of course, I'd be incredibly limited. But if I had the option to skip it, that could be really good. If you're suffering from roster depth, again, that can be really helpful down the line. I'm not going to say it is or isn't, because we've got a full year of the bloody stuff to go, or we know we've got months to go before the end of it. But if you're willing to put up with it, it may be good. Do a test or something. We aren't able to address the regeneration or overall kit of Absorbing Man right now, but we want to talk. But we will be taking the time to address his general mechanics and regeneration for when he returns in the Gauntlet. That's good. So like they'll deal at the end of it. So that's, as you know, that will be what you'll be saving your revives and health potions up for. Deal with that. And that'll be fun. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe it will be. There will be hashtags, there'll be objectives kind of filled with that. But again, if you're banking those objective points, that again could be really helpful for the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, if it has any kind of point requirements for it, and say there's a roster, not depreciation, I can't remember the word, it begins with D, but it's kind of like when you've not got something, it's kind of like depreciation. If you've depreciated, it's not depreciated, whatever. When you do not have as we said, if you don't have what you need for the particular path or objective that's there, then at least you've got that opportunity of, well, I've banked an extra objective down the line or earlier in the month. So we also know that players are concerned with the energy that is required to complete this fight. We're not going to make any changes at this time. We expect some upcoming fights to be easier and want to see where the tuning lands with larger samples of these fights. This is something we'll continue to assess as Winter of Woe proceeds. It just becomes an issue on, like, training, practice. And then it's like, why isn't this same principle being kind of exchanged to Eternity of Pain? I mean, this is a whole different type of pain because it's I still don't agree with the energy side of things. I think 3 is fine. I understand they did what they did with the event quest, but that's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? That has a different kind of element to it being done. Yeah, Kabam do give out energy refills. Funnily enough, if you did the summoner advancement today, or you got your rewards in, you will know that you banked some more energy refills. But it does take away from the point, you know, I'm back up to 3. But this is, again, like, for what I do for a creation point of it, I've got to run Event Quest some more times in order to kind of create my spreadsheet. I'm currently, you know, it's really late. I need to go to bed in a minute. But I'm working still on kind of like my guide for, this will probably have to go out Saturday. Because the thing is, I need to like road test more champions. Road testing more champions means I'm burning energy. If I'm burning energy, then I'm using it as well to like of the benefit of the community to go, well, Rich tested out that on there, and he says that works, and he showcased that worked as well. So it's a problem, isn't it? It's a problem to do creation around the game, and Kabam would go, well, what you're doing though is you're going to be, it's all for the betterment. It's all for the betterment of your investment in it, and that's really, really kind of like, it's tough on the player because then that energy's got to be reused in other places. I should be reusing that energy in Battlegrounds, but I've not got the time yet. I usually kind of like, I'll try and do the next 2 weeks now that I've 100% in Necropolis. I can then invest my time into it. The same thing when it comes to like event quest. Well, mainly like the Paragon Gauntlet, but side quest as well, because a side quest has energy spend in it, doesn't it? It's one energy or whatever. So it's 1 energy per tile, but still energy spend. And then you kind of go, right, well, I'm lucky I don't have any kind of like story mode on at the moment. Otherwise I would have used that there. And also we've got the Lunar Quest coming in on, is it tomorrow or Sunday? Tomorrow or Saturday? And that'll require energy. If I remember rightly, in previous times, those event quests are never free. They do cost energy. So, look, it becomes a bit of an issue, doesn't it? A bit of an annoyance. But back to what, you know, Kabam say, which is the following. Going into the last bit of response. We are not making changes based on the other 2 objectives. From player performance and design perspective, the Gamma objective has wide variety of champions that deal with the fight. Really? Whatever. Effectively, and the Sinister 6 objective is for Valiant players who should expect to have access to this very wide roster of champions. I like that. It's like, well, Valiant players should expect it. I like that. That's funny. Thank you for all your feedback and your patience on the matter. So, look, I still don't agree with the energy side of things. I just don't think that it's kind of like a fair... Because otherwise, it's like, well, why isn't Necropolis 5 energy per tile spend? Surely that would be, or 6, or whatever, because it's kind of like, was it the more rarer the content, the more investment of energy you've got to do? And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. I appreciate Kabam want to create, like, you know, the factual things about why they're doing it, but then yeah, there's like that's another point. Like, well, if Necropolis is the pinnacle of content, the pinnacle of Everest content of the last 2 months, then why has that not increased in energy value? Especially if they were building this out, they would have been like, oh, you know, back when the idea was conceived, what, let's just say it was kind of like September, October time. Like, oh, we're thinking of putting this in. It's going to be 5 energy. We're putting in Necropolis. That's 3 energy per tile. Is it 3 energy per tile? Like, if it's less than that, then my God. I'm pretty certain it's 3. Let's double check. Oh my god, it's even worse. I thought it was 3 energy. I legitimately thought it was 3 energy per tile. That's even worse. Like, pinnacle content, 1 energy. And then, ongoing Everest pinnacle content, 5 energy per tile. So, I really can't find a way to kind of like thoroughly justify this. And I don't think Kabam can kind of come up with they'll probably come up with a good reason as to why. But it's like, it does take away from the fact of going, why is that 5? Why is Necropolis 1? I thought Necropolis would at least be like 3 energy per tile, especially following a rhyme of reason of like previous. Is that, and like, what was it? Is it? Oh no, not there. I want to go there. Like Eternity of Pain as well. Like Eternity of Pain is 0 energy per tile spend, and so's with so's Grandmaster Gauntlet. Shooting Stars has got 1 energy, and that's a doddle. Oh, I don't know. I really, honestly, sometimes I'm just really baffled with stuff that Kabam do. I don't know, is anybody else baffled as well? Put it in the comment section. Be interesting to find out like where people kind of land this. But as I said, take some positive in that you could potentially bank a point and save yourself hassle down the line. I think I might do that. I think I might lose some revives for it, because again, it's like, right, well, I can take or leave maybe 1 or maybe 1. I'll have to kind of like look at this and go, I'll do the Sinister 6 one, and then I think I'll see. And then I'll see where I am with my revive hoarding. And then it's 2 weeks, and then a new one. Got to save up for that gauntlet as well. In any case, that has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. Check out some other content located on screen. Have your say in the comments, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye.